Right. Is that better? Is that the correct microphone now? Oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, I was looking at the, I was looking at the waveform, and I was like, "Oh, wow, the mics are on the correct mics for once." And apparently everyone in chat's like, "No, they're on the wrong mic." Oh, maybe it's the right mic now. Let me know, chat. But yes, we're here, we're live, and, rocking and rolling as always. And, we are here today joined by a special XB2+1 guest, Dirt Griggity. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. That's a drum roll for you. Yeah, but no.
Believe it, man. So thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now everyone in chat was saying can't hear Dirt or Rand. So you guys,
Oh my God.
you guys are muted. Oh my God! What the hell is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? I'm so bad at this. Rand, you need to host the show. I'm so sorry, Dirt. But yes, we got Dirt Greedy here.
I don't understand how you can do this every single week. I never have any single problems doing it whatsoever.
I don't know, man. But Dirt, do you want to introduce yourself again? You're muted.
Can they hear me now?
Yes,
Can they hear me now?
They definitely can now.
No, I want to say, man, thank you guys. I'm a big fan of you guys' show. Been listening to it for years. I can't believe I'm actually the +1 on this show today. So, yeah, thanks a lot, man. It feels good to be here. I appreciate it.
Nah, it's awesome to have you, man. Like, I mean, I've been following you for years, and there's so many there's so many content creators in this space, and it's like keeping track of everyone and everything going on in my head is really tough. But like, I oh Christ, my monitor's
Oh,
flickering now. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you.
Mhm.
Oh my God, it's tech issues all day for days today.
No, we call these jazz issues.
Oh, jazz issues, yeah. All my USB devices just flickered, so I hope the stream's still live. Jesus, what is going on today? It's like Ghost in the Machine or something. But yeah, I think everything's still good. But yeah, as I was saying, like there's a lot of content creators in the space, and like there's always like so much stuff going on in my head, and like keeping track of everyone and everything going on in my job and stuff is really tough. But one of the reasons why I personally became more aware of you recently, Dirt, is because Xbox internally shares your content quite a lot and enjoys your
That's crazy.
content and enjoys your takes and stuff like that, like high up the chain. So I think
Wow.
that's
That's insane.
yeah. I mean I think that's a testament to your insight and stuff like that, which is why like your channel's growing so much. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you, man.
giving us your time today as we shoot the shit and talk Xbox and things like that. Like
Wow, thank you.
how did you like get started in the space? Like when did you start out, and what inspired you to get creative and stuff like that?
I love when people ask me this question because I was just a guy in the community listening to other people podcasts. I used to listen to a lot of let's just call them former Xbox guys that flip to Xbox haters. I used to listen to a bunch of those guys' channels. I used to listen to Rand. Well, I still listen to Rand, but back when he did videos, I Rand, Dealer Game, all those guys, all of the pro Xbox content creators I used to just listen to on a consistent basis. Then I did a video one day. I was just driving, so I don't recommend driving and trying to do a YouTube video, but I was doing a video, and the Nintendo Switch was just revealed, and I'm not a Nintendo fan like Rand. I'm not a Nintendo fan. Even as a kid, I was not a big Nintendo fan. I was a Sega kid, and I just recorded a video saying I think the Nintendo Switch is trash, and I did like a 2-minute video, and this video got 2,000 views. And I said, damn, is it this simple? Of course, I got like tons of down votes at that time, back when you could see the down votes. So I got destroyed, but I said, wow, is it really this simple to get this many views? And of course, my next 30 videos got like 60 views a piece, but I just stuck with it. I just wanted to be another pro Xbox content creator. And I eventually kind of evolved into more of a console war channel, but I just have fun with it. I'm not, you know, super serious. I hate people, but I'm just trying to have fun with it. But that's pretty much what happened, man. I just wanted to be another Xbox content creator in the community, and I'm happy I'm still one of the last few remaining because a lot of them are not around anymore. So that's
They
pretty much
sure
what it
are.
was.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the topic du jour at the moment, where it's like there's so many of those Xbox community guys. Like I remember going to like, seeing Rand at E3, and the community was in such a really different place, where there was just sort of
It
like
was.
all the creators, and everyone was sort of excited and happy about like after the botched Xbox One launch, and Phil came on, and it felt like Xbox was going on a better path and like an upward trajectory, and really listening to fan feedback, and
Mhm.
doing a lot of pro consumer things like Game Pass, the best deal in gaming, Xbox backwards compatibility, all that kind of stuff. And then like you fast forward to now, and it's like a lot of those guys have either moved hard into grifting,
Mhm.
um, or they've just exited content creation altogether, or and the community is really fractured and divided on some of those opinions, and about where the direction of the Xbox platform in general. Like, where do you sit generally with regards to what Xbox has been doing over the last couple of years? How do you feel about multi-platform push? How do you feel about the way they've been handling things? Because it does feel like a different Xbox we've had for the last couple of years.
Absolutely. And like you said, back in last generation, even though Xbox didn't have a lot of games, the community still felt stronger. But as far as their current plan and the future plans, initially I will admit I was upset about the multi-platform pivot, but that's mostly because, I'm 49 years old. I'm older than you and Rand, I believe. So it was kind of like, yeah, I'm used to things being a certain way. But honestly, after a week or two, I calmed down. I said, Xbox is still going to be my place to play. They're not getting rid of games on the Xbox consoles for now or whatever. So I got over it. Then I realized Xbox needs to do something different because in the traditional console space, they've been getting their ass whooped the last couple of generations. They haven't recovered from the Xbox One debacle. So I say, you know what? They have to do something different. I always say this on my podcast. Nintendo with the GameCube, they tried to fight Xbox and PlayStation the traditional way, and they realized they couldn't do that anymore. So
That's a
they
good
made the
point.
Nintendo Wii and changed the game, right? So I realized that Xbox is just doing something different. The consoles, they're not growing. Phil Spencer said this plenty of times. Like the same people are buying the consoles, and they realize PC is the only platform that's growing. So let's make a hybrid console. So I'm okay with that. Like I said, initially I was upset about the multi-platform pivot, but I'm over that now. Especially seeing PlayStation putting a game here, a game there on other platforms. I saw earlier today Stellar Blade developers saying they're gonna put their games in other places. Square Enix, of course, they're full multi-platform now. So the industry is where it is, and I understand the Xbox had to do some different things that a lot of us traditionalists didn't really care for, but I'm totally fine with it now, man. As long as they continue to drop the games, which they've been doing really well with that, especially this year, and I know moving forward, they're going to still have a lot of good games coming out. I'm still going to be on the Xbox. That's why I prefer to play, and that's about it, man.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was like with the multi-platform stuff. I was generally like how does this impact the relevancy of Xbox, and then extrapolating from that, how does that impact whether or not third-party developers will want to support the platform? Because historically, we've had these
Mhm.
issues where Final Fantasy skipped the platform. Other games have had timed exclusivity and all this kind of stuff, but like a lot of the things we used to complain about, like, oh, these games like Final Fantasy skipping the platform, Xbox
Mhm.
isn't releasing any games, all those things we used to complain about, all those have been fixed now, despite the fact they've gone multi-platform. And like
Right.
Sony's financials yesterday, Sony was saying like how Helldivers 2 is a massive success on Xbox, which kind of
Absolutely.
like could potentially hint this is another one of them it's only 4 games moments, but then they start tasting the money, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. So I don't know, Rand. Did you see
Mhm.
Sony's financials yesterday? Do you have any thoughts about that kind of stuff? Oh, I just want to give a quick shout, by the way, to Nocturnal, who dropped 5 memberships. Thank you so much, buddy.
Do I have any thoughts on it? Not really. I will say, the hate campaign at Ghost of Yotai was definitely something.
So
And then,
I'm not fully aware of what was going on with Ghost of Yotai because I've
I
seen
mean,
I've
you know, the
seen
whole is
Colin
it
tweeting
woke
about it.
stuff. Well, because it was the whole, you know, the whole woke stuff,
How
right?
was
Like
was it
they,
woke? Was it just female protagonist or
well,
what?
one because because there's a female protagonist who was not very pretty, and two because the actress behind it was a very left leaning, self described Antifa member.
Oh dear.
Um, so a lot of those people were
Drama.
very much against this game. You know, the whole woke, you know, go woke, go broke stuff, right? Where
Oh
Ghost of
right.
Tsushima was
I had no
sold
idea
really
about
well.
any of this. I had no idea about any of this.
So there's just been this push to paint this game as a failure, as like a go woke, go broke sort of thing. And you know, they were using Sony's lack of communication regarding the sales for the game as proof that the game wasn't selling well. And then Sony announced like 3.3 million sales in essentially 30 days or 33 days or something. So you know, even called it a big success, and it paints a lot of the picture that these people were painting as like, well, you were completely wrong. But of course, they're still doubling down, being like, it, you know, even though the game's also $10 more expensive than the previous game, so they actually made more money, right? So it's like that whole culture war shit. I get why people do it because people get so enraged, and people
So much
enraged continue
engagement.
to watch stuff, and you get so much engagement and so much money. I don't know about you, Dirt, but I just kind of I watch that stuff and I just laugh. I just there's a lot of gaming content out there, but a lot of the gaming content out there is just it's trash. It's that
Yeah,
trash,
I agree.
and I could never do it. You know what I mean? Like there's a part of me that I think I talked to Cole about this. Is like, man, we should all just start like toxic culture war channels.
Mm.
But then it's like I couldn't be able to say the stuff that I know is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't do that. I don't know. But as far as the rest of the stuff, I mean, I think Sony sold what 3 point something million consoles or 3.8, which is like on par with what they sold the year previously. So I think people were expecting a decline. It didn't decline. I mean, Sony's good at selling hardware. They'll probably match the PS4 in the long run. Maybe surpass it or maybe come up a little bit short. I mean, that's kind of what you get when you are like, hey, you want to buy a console, and that's the choice. You can't really buy Xboxes anymore, really, right? So it's like, hey, if you want to play these games, it's pretty much you get a PlayStation. So, uh, you know, they do a good job. But you were concerned about the the f- the the gaming hours, right? When you were talking to me
Yeah,
about it, like
so
the
before you joined before we went live, like I was just, you know, trolling back and forth around about some of PlayStation's financials, and like they oftentimes in the community there's this there I feel like there is this bubble, this disconnect between um how well PlayStation is perceived to be doing versus how well the industry is actually doing. And it's funny
Mm.
because Sony themselves talk about things like TikTok, and you know, Sean Layden mentioned TikTok eating game time hours and stuff like that, and then Satya mentioned it as well the other week, and he was like, yeah, TikTok's eating game time hours. And there's this always this like, oh well, Sony's doing fine, look at their hardware sales. But it's like
Mm.
you look at their hardware sales, but then you look at their playtime hours, and their
Yeah.
playtime hours are only up 1%, which is basically flat. Despite the fact that, like, in 2026, we've had more AAA. 2025, we've had like this has been a landmark year for bangers, and the playtime hours are only up 1%, despite all the hardware they've supposedly sold.
Mm.
Doesn't that, like, you know? And I was talking to Rand. Doesn't that kind of doesn't that suggest that there is a systemic issue with the gaming industry, and it's not just like it's the way Xbox reports its numbers? It's like, oh yeah, hardware's down, doom and gloom, right? Sony reports hardware figures up, but then like underneath, it's like, yeah, but playtime hours only went up by 1%. Doesn't that truly denote that there is an industry wide issue and it's not just isolated to Xbox? I don't know.
I think so.
Good. Because I was gonna say is like when Jess said that to me, I'm like, bro, everybody's waiting for GTA.
Yeah.
Because I think also a lot of the popular games this year were all single player games, and single player games have an ending. This isn't like the Fortnites and the CODs and all those at their peak, and everybody's constantly playing them. It's like, yeah, Expedition 33 is amazing, but it's either 25 hours if you want to play through just the story, or 50 hours you want to do everything. A lot of those games have an endpoint.
Well, here's my take on this before we get Dirt's take. I think it's more problematic than that. I think what we're seeing is a generational cultural issue, because we've had Minecraft hit its record monthly active users this year, but playtime hours overall are flat. So that just means people are going from like, oh, I played Fortnite this month. Oh, I'm going to play Minecraft this month. Oh, I'm going to play Roblox this month. People are just like, it's the same users, just almost like incestually going between different family members in this. I don't.
Excuse us. What do you mean by that?
I don't.
Incestually? Oh
Yeah,
man.
I don't know why I chose that as the metaphor, right? But it's kind of like inbreeding with all the existing user base. We've run out of genetic diversity. It's all inbreeding now. It's the same users over and over again, and we've sort of hit this generational wall. Like you do in like Spanish monarchy, where there's not enough genetic diversity, and then you end up with like the Habsburgs, which are all sort of like. You end up with an unhealthy business model. I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor. Let's get rid of the incest metaphor. Let's just get that to one side. But you end up with an unhealthy business where you're basically all fighting for the same users. And why is this? Is this a generational thing? Are we blaming TikTok? Is gaming now for boomers? Are we boomers, Dirt? What's going on? What's your perception? Do you have kids,
Well,
Dirt?
yes, I do.
So you've got a unique perspective potentially that me and Rand don't have about how kids are seeing gaming these days.
Absolutely. Well, I have all girls. Most of them are adults, but I have a 16-year-old, and she's not a gamer, but she's on TikTok all day. But I will say this: I saw something earlier where somebody posted the Xbox One so more than the Xbox Series at this same time frame. I don't know how much more, maybe millions, maybe 4 or 5 million. I don't know. I'm guessing. And he said the PS5 is around the same, maybe a little bit lower than the PS4 at the same time. So where are those 4 to 5 million gamers that was on the Xbox One? Where are they? Did they go to PC? Most likely, right? Because like most of them didn't go to PlayStation because PlayStation numbers are around the same. So where are those gamers? Are they on TikTok? Where are they? Because
or are they not just still on Xbox One?
That's a good point. Are they still on Xbox One? Are they still on PS4? What's going on? Because you guys are talking about the PlayStation sales, and like the PS5 still sells extremely well. But why are their first party games not selling as well as they were last generation, even though the PS4 and the PS5 is pretty close as far as console sales at the same time? Where are these gamers going? Are these the gamers that still stuck on Fortnite and Roblox, Call of Duty? I mean, it seems to me that if everything was great as it needs to be with PlayStation, we know what Xbox is doing. We know Xbox strategy. They've pivoted. They've changed their direction. They're doing different things. But when it comes to PlayStation, they're doing things that, like you guys know, Rand, we've been talking about this forever. I never thought 10 years ago, if you would have said PlayStation will be putting their games on PC, I would have said no way in hell. but they're doing something different because the industry is changing. Budgets have gone up. Like, you guys know the story, right? So, in my opinion, what's happening right now is the culture of gaming is just changing. We are becoming older, right? I remember going to midnight launches in 2007 for Halo 3, and those days are long gone. Now we have our kids and even our grandkids, because my grandson, he's 4, he's playing the hell out of my rock. I like every time he come over, he's like, he want to play Bluey and SpongeBob on it. So we're at a different time where I just think the industry is changing to the point the hardcore gamers are we're just getting smaller and smaller to where the casuals have always dominated, and these games will continue to dominate. I do believe GTA 6, like you guys said, will bring I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? A boom to the industry or whatever you want to call it. But as of right now, I think everything is just kind of weird to me. Things just seems just unfamiliar. They're focusing on the same few games and everything is not moving the same as it used to, man. Like last generation, we were here. God of War sold 3 million in 3 days. Now Ghost of Yote sell 3 million in 30 days. I mean, that's fine. You know, that's definitely still pretty decent, but it just doesn't hit the same for me.
Yeah, we don't really have any direct comparisons to Tsushima because it sold 5 million in 120 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, is it on pace to match Tsushima? Is it on pace to blow it away? Is it on pace to underperform it? I don't know. I mean, we know it costs more, but
this is like, you know, essentially one of the issues is like the line goes up, right? And if you've got like
always.
If you've got like
it's a bad thing if it goes down, Jazz. People lose their jobs.
Yeah, it's a thing, right? But like the fact we're even sitting here discussing like, and it's not isolated to Ghost of Yotai and Ghost of Tsushima. Like there's a question like, is Ghost of Yotai growing the franchise, or is it just like, you know, sort of keeping pace? Keeping pace isn't enough. So you have to do things like, okay, well, the last one was $60.
You don't think keeping pace is enough, though? You don't think?
No.
Hey, as long as we keep the budget within reason, and as long as we sell, even if we don't sell, let's say we'll make a profit.
No,
is that not good enough?
It's enough if you want to create art, but if you're trying to appeal to shareholders, you have to like show definitive, like demonstrable, serious growth, right?
Yeah, but you're not going to have growth on everything you put out.
No, of course not. Of course not, right? But I'm just using this as an example. This is like the real example is playtime hours going up by 1%, right? But like just using Ghost of Yotai as an example of this wider discussion of a generational kind of issue, where it's like generationally there seems to be this weird cap on the amount of people that can be considered a core gamer at any one time. It feels like the same amount of people who age out of gaming, they're roughly replaced by the same amount of people coming in. It doesn't grow. There's some kind of issue there. So in order to grow, in order to line go up in a universe where you're fighting for the same users, you have to do things like put the price up to $70. You have to do things like ram the game with microtransactions. Like we talked before about how World of Warcraft's never increased its subscription fee, but it has rammed the game with microtransactions, and there's another microtransaction currency coming out for the game next month, which everyone's pissed off about. But this is like how they deliver growth while having no actual user base growth, because World of Warcraft has not grown in 15 years as a user base, but they've grown how much money they extract from us via these other means. So I suppose that's where we get into these other issues of like prices going up, Game Pass going up, console hardware going up. What else are they going to do to try and make the line go up, you know? It's those.
I think that's a valid question. I think it's a valid question. What are they going to do? I mean, we don't like it, but unfortunately, in reality, the consumer, we're the ones that usually got to pay for, you know, like some of the decisions that these companies make. You know, they're like, you know, like you said, with World of Warcraft. Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like you said with World of Warcraft, the fee has been the same for years, but their money is more now because they have these microtransactions that they didn't have in the past. It's about business. It's about making money. And I mean, we obviously all know that, but I think some people forget about that. They think PlayStation is content with just, selling these consoles every generation, selling a few million first party games here and there, and they're content with it. No, they want more. If someone gave me $100 and I had the opportunity to make $200, you better believe I'm trying to make that $200, right? Because they want more, and that's just what it is. So this is just where we at.
Yeah, Darren, I got a question for you. I want to know, since Jez sort of mentioned it, where like Matt Booty and Satya and even Reggie and Sean Layden all blame TikTok to a certain degree of like, better watch out, we're going to lose our audience to TikTok and blah, blah, blah. And Matt Booty and Satya very much recently were like, TikTok's our competition, not other consoles. And I saw that more as because you have to like take it in the context of what they were asked, right? They were asked about like Halo being on PS5. So it was like, what's your competition? You're putting Halo on the competition? Oh no. Halo's, PlayStation's not competition anymore, right? It's TikTok that's competition. It's mobile that's competition. It's movies that are competition. So I guess the question, because me and Jez were trying to discuss like, well, how do you essentially combat that? What are you doing to get users or to stop the bleed, so to speak, of people choosing TikTok over, your platform and stuff? Do you think there's a way for them to like speak to younger people out there that are into TikTok that would rather watch all that content instead of, who probably previously would have gotten a console, became a Nintendo or a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC guy, but now they're on TikTok and they're no longer on gaming essentially. Like, do you think there's a way for them to take those users back, or do you think it's just something for an executive to say, being like, that's our competition, but not actually have a plan to fight that? What do you think?
Well, clearly, it's about the time that people spend on TikTok. I think the only thing that they can possibly try to do, like maybe one of the reasons why they bought ABK was mobile. If people are on TikTok, that obviously means they're not playing games. They're not even, if they're watching Netflix all day, they're not playing games. And I feel Xbox putting their games everywhere is the first step. That's something they believe in. Put your games everywhere. That gives them more potential for people to give their games a try. Mobile is the key because not many people watch TikTok on their TV, right? They're always on mobile. They're spending hours. I'm guilty of it myself. I would get on TikTok and I just get in this vortex and I'm just swiping up. Next thing you know, I've been on TikTok for an hour, right? So these kids, that's what they're on. The only way they can combat it, I think, is mobile. Maybe, I don't know, like Candy Crush is popular, but TikTok is just taking so much time. So, Rand, to answer your question, I don't really know what their strategy is. But all we can say is putting their games everywhere, putting content everywhere. That's a start. But TikTok is a monster, and the time people spend on TikTok is going to be hard to get people back to gaming, because the more they're on TikTok means the less time they're gaming. And at this point, consoles, it's, obviously consoles still sell a lot, but like Jez just said, they're not growing. We know that they're not growing. The same people are buying them every generation. If the best selling console of all time came out 25 years ago, that's to tell you right there that there's no growth in the console market. So they got to figure out something, man. They got to figure out something.
I think I want to ask you this: Have you ever tried getting any of your kids into gaming? And if so,
Yes,
how did that go?
My oldest daughter, she's 27. Yeah. She's a PC. She plays on PC, but she's strictly for not Fortnite. Overwatch. She loves Overwatch 2. She plays that exclusively. She plays no other game but Overwatch. So she's the only gamer that's like, out of all of my daughters.
My little cousin's
I,
like that. She's in her 20s and all she plays is Overwatch.
yeah,
It's really popular with
that's all she
girls, I
plays.
find.
Yeah, she loves Overwatch. One time she was over here, she broke down every character, their strengths, their weaknesses. I was like, wow, this is pretty impressive. Then I told her, hey, now you know Xbox owns that game now, right? So I had to let her know that. But so besides her, no, my other daughters, they don't really game much. But I got a nephew that games, and some other family members that game. But as far as my kids, now they don't really game much. They'll play something like my other daughter. She loves like those Telltale types of games. She'll play those once in a while, but that's about it.
I've tried really hard to get my girlfriend into gaming, and I've been with her now for 13 years now. God, it's been a long
13
time.
years. Wow.
Yeah, and I've been constantly like, hey, try this. And she completed Limbo, and she completed Inside. She likes the side-scrolling games because, like, when it's 3D, it's almost like she doesn't have that. It's almost like she has to learn like a new skill to approach 3D for some reason. And it kind of reminded me of the first time I played a game with dual joysticks when I was little. I think it was SOCOM. It was SOCOM.
Oh, wow.
The first game I played with dual joysticks, and I was like, how does this work? Like, how do I move with these two joysticks? It's kind of like watching my girlfriend do that. But the side-scrolling game she played, and she completed Mario. New Super Mario Bros. On Nintendo Switch, again, another side-scrolling game. But it's just like she just much rather just go on TikTok and scroll, man. I think like
Yeah.
the question like Rand asks, like, what can you do to appeal to that? He's like, if that's got to be like, there are people paid way more than us to trying to figure that shit out right now, because like even me, like, before going to bed, and the Xbox Ally has changed this a bit. Like, before going to bed now, I'll often jump on the Xbox Ally.
Yeah.
But even now, like, sometimes it's just like I don't even want a game. I just want to I want to be brain dead for a bit and just doom scroll and brain rot.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do. So
Very simple. Yeah.
yeah.
Just click the app, scroll through. But my wife, she's not a gamer at all. Like, the only game she used to play all the time in the 360 generation was Zuma. She loved that game, but she doesn't game. But she's always on TikTok. She'll send me recipes. Honey, you think I should make this? I'm like, I don't know. Just make it. She's always on TikTok. She's on TikTok. My mother-in-law, which is a 73-year-old woman, she's on TikTok. Like,
Jeez, everybody's on TikTok. No wonder everyone's like, that's our competition. You know, it's
That's
people wasting their time. Yeah,
people
that's
spend a
the
lot
enemy.
of time on TikTok.
I don't know. Did you see any of those? I've seen people suggest that what Phil and what Matt and Satu were really suggesting is that Xbox is going to change their games for TikTok. And I'm just like, is that even possible? Like, TikTok's not a game. You can't play games on TikTok, right? They were like, suggesting that like you can directly play.
I know I see a lot of streaming on TikTok. Like,
there's streaming on TikTok, but they have experimented with actual, when you scroll, and it's not rolled out generally, but when you scroll, sometimes a game will pop up, like a vertical game. Do you ever play Cut the Rope on your phone? It's like a vertical game.
No. What do you mean? Okay, a vertical game. Like, there's a difference between something like that and like Forza Horizon 6. You know what I mean? Or the games that Xbox makes. I know you're of the opinion that like.
What if there was a
like
vertical
OD.
Forza Horizon where you just scroll
that's the thing.
up
It's
and
like
you scroll to drive? I don't know, man. It's stupid.
They cut each of the race. You know, like I think I mentioned like how a content creator can make a 20-minute video or do a podcast, and then like, out of that single podcast, they can have like 20 YouTube shorts or 20 TikToks because just break it up.
Right.
What if like here's Forza Horizon 6 and we're going to put it on TikTok, but as like one race. Here's a race. Here's another race. And I'm just like, would that even work? How would you even do it? But I've seen people suggest that Xbox is going to change how their games are made because they're going to go after TikTok. And I'm like, I think maybe you're reading too literally into those words.
Yeah, I don't see
or
that.
whatever.
How about this? How about this, right? What if they brought back picture-in-picture and they designed the UI around making sure games had a part of the screen that was didn't have anything in it, so you could TikTok while you were playing,
Mm.
and it
Oh,
scrolled.
boy.
I
It
don't know.
scrolled for you, and there was a button on your controller for scrolling. So instead of scrolling on the TV, you just press the button. Oh, I'll go to the next TikTok, so you can play a game while scrolling on TikTok. Would that save Xbox?
I don't know about that one, Jess.
People
I
like
don't
picture in
know,
picture
man.
though. People like remember picture in picture on Xbox One, and like you like watch WWE and shit while playing like
The Xbox
grinding in
One was
Fallout
so
or something.
cool. The Xbox One, man, that console has some of the coolest stuff. Even little minor stuff like buying something with a code. The Connect would just scan it instead of you manually putting in the code. That was some cool stuff that the Xbox One had. It was a dope console. It's just, oh man. I mean, you're taking me back, Jazz. You're taking me back to those days where it was just crazy on social media, 720p versus 1080p. Oh my God, Rand,
Oh,
we
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
those days.
The height of the console war, right?
Oh my God, man.
This
That's
is how
I
you
found this
share
community.
games.
That's how I found this community, man. I was looking for any positive Xbox news after the Xbox One reveal. I was like, yeah, that TV stuff was terrible, but it still seemed like a cool console. And I was looking for any positive Xbox news. And I found, one channel, but that was about it, man, at the time. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was those were the days though. I remember because I was a huge 360 guy, right? And
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
the Xbox One reveal, I was like, what is going on? I was
Yeah.
like, am I gonna have to get a PlayStation? And then they got rid of all the DRM stuff.
And
And
that E3 was actually pretty good, though, man. If you actually remember the E3 in 2013,
no, that E3 that
show,
E3 the E3
great
was
show.
good. You know, they
Yeah.
got rid of Force Connect, I think. Which I mean I hated the Connect. I hated that Connect so much. Truly a worthless device in gaming. I mean, I know they
It
use it
wasn't
now for like
worthless, Rand.
oh, it was in my opinion
Rand.
completely
Okay, Rand.
worthless.
Now we're talking about 2010, right? I
Yeah.
told you most of my daughters are adults now, but back then they were kids, and we used to play the hell out of that thing. But
Well,
it was
I'm not saying
cool.
it doesn't have its. I'm saying when I'm saying it's worthless, it is worthless to me. You know,
Yeah.
I understand that
You're not kids, right?
people liked it or whatever, but I always just viewed that as Microsoft trying to catch the Nintendo Wii craze. Like,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Sony tried doing it too because Sony had the dildo
They
sticks.
failed. Yeah,
You
what
know,
was it called? The Move, right? But it failed.
the move.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the move failing for Sony was the best thing to happen to them because they focused on their
Yeah.
content.
And you know what? Connect being a success was
Yeah.
awful for
Yeah.
Xbox when you
Yeah.
look at it because they
Yeah,
designed the next system completely around it.
around it. Absolutely.
And they
man.
made a system that was
Hey,
less powerful, had to be
hey.
more expensive. So there's a part of me that's wonders if it didn't do as well as it did, and you just made another console that was as powerful as the PS4, but also the same price. Like, what happens that generation?
I think
Because
they
that's
would've
when
been in a much
Xbox
better
turned into
position.
a joke to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Was because of what happened, and they never recovered because, like, you know, I forget who was in charge of Xbox at the time. Not
Don
Don
Matrick?
Matrick or Phil, but
Oh,
the guy above him, the
Myerson.
Windows division, Myerson used
Myerson.
Xbox failing out of the gate as a way to strangle the budget
Right.
to Xbox, and then Phil became the head. And then like they had the games that were in development, but after that they didn't have anything in development, which is why the end of the generation looked as sparse as it did.
Right.
And the games weren't rated very high. It's like all that stems from that, and I'm just like, man, a couple different decisions.
Yeah.
Who knows how this everything ends up, you know?
Rand,
But
and I know you remember that Xbox had a lot of momentum going into
they sure
the
did.
Xbox One PS4
Bro,
generation.
let me tell you. I was told by people before when the Xbox One was coming out that third parties were expecting Xbox One to dominate the PS4.
Yeah.
Dominate the PlayStation 4. And then, well, we know what happened. But yeah,
I
it's
remember
just
seeing a quote from Vic Zampella saying that.
mhm.
He actually said that he thought the Xbox One was going to dominate the PS4. Wow, that's
but
crazy.
things were so there's a I want to bring this up because it's kind of news that's happened like since yesterday. And also because it's a game I'm addicted to right now, Arc Raiders. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to play it yet, Dirt.
No, I'm going to get it though because everybody's raving about it. I got to get it, bro.
Yeah,
I'll get
I
you a
am
key,
like
man. I'll get you a key.
I am 50
Oh,
hours in.
sweet.
So addicted, right? Having a great time playing with my buddies, taking people's loot, hearing them cuss us out when we do so. You know, it's a great feeling.
Are you mean to people like Gaz? Did you see
Oh,
Gaz's tweet where he
I
just
saw
like
Yeah.
Gaz's tweet.
he
I would
Gaz,
never do that, but
that was
you
so
know,
mean,
Gaz
bro.
Gaz is very mean when it comes to that. But
That was
but
brutal. I was like,
when I
damn.
play with my
buddy.
buddies, when I play solo, I'm usually like I just want to get in and loot my stuff. But I'm very defensive. If I hear somebody, like I'm getting the position, and if they say don't shoot first, I'll be like, okay, I won't do anything. But if I hear the person coming in and say anything and they turn that corner, I'm lighting you up. I'm taking your shit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, but and when we play full squad, we're hunting. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
my buddy, we hear shots or we see the flares go off. My buddy Magic's like, let's go, the call of my people. And we start we going over there. We're looking to fight. We're looking to take people's loot. So
That sounds dope, man. That reminds me of the division, kind of, right?
yeah,
What is it?
yeah. The dark
Yeah.
zone,
I love the
right?
division. Yeah, the dark zone. Yeah.
So one of the big things that has come up with this game was Eurogamer's review. Because this game was highly rated over on OpenCritic and Metacritic. I think it was like a 90, 93 or 94 on OpenCritic. Eurogamer came out with a 2 out of 5. And it dropped the score from like a 93 to an 88.
Damn,
and the
5
reason
points?
the reason for the low score was strictly because they used AI voices.
Oh, come on.
So there's been this whole debate about that. Is it fair to the game to, you know, give a review like that? Is it more of like a moral grandstanding thing? You know, because we're going to have more games that are going to have AI in it. I mean, hell, there's probably a ton of games made with AI already, but not in the way that you would know. Like, not in the way of like AI voices, but AI helping people, you know, build things faster or whatever. Like, you're going to probably find in the future where there's almost every game is made with AI in some manner. It's just, is it forward facing to the consumer in the way that Arc Raiders is? So I guess, do you think that's right for what Eurogamer did? I mean, it is their opinion after all, and they wanted to kind of be like, hey, this is our AI stance. Or should they have been like, well, review the game and what is the, you know, like, what do you think about that whole drama going on with their review and the Arc Raiders? If you have an opinion at all, because I know you haven't played it, but.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I do want to play because one, I did love the division, and apparently this game is even better than the division, right? I guess that's opinionated also, but yeah, I do want to play it. You know, that's the thing about reviews, man. I mean, for something like that to drop the score 5 points, you know, that kind of annoys you. I know it's pissing off Embark Studios. Like, I know it's pissing them off. Like, that reminds me of remember Gears of War Remastered back in 2015?
Yeah.
IGN lower the score, set too much A button. Like, what? Like, that's the dumbest reason ever to lower a score of a game. So, but that, in my opinion, that's a dumb reason to lower the score of a game. AI voices? How's the gameplay? How's the graphics? What, like, that's what should matter, right? Not AI voices. So, yeah, that's stupid, man. That's stupid. When you review imagine a movie reviewer saying, yo, the movie, I had to lower the score because I did not like the voice of some of the characters. I didn't like his shoes. And that's just dumb. Was the movie good? How was the story? Was the plot good? Was the movie shot well? We want people to review a game with the stuff we care about. How was the gameplay? Did it run like a smooth 60? How's the graphics? If it's a single player game, how's the story? We don't care about AI voices, man. Like, come on. That was stupid, bro.
Yeah, Jazz, you got any opinion on this?
I mean, I hate AI bullshit, right? No, like you guys have seen me.
You
heard
hate
me
AI
rant.
a lot.
Yeah,
Because
I hate AI a lot.
it's gonna take your job.
It's taking my job. But yeah, it's cooking the business. It's frying the whole internet, you know. Like I live on I'm chronically online. I've had the internet since I was like 8 years old, and I've grown up in this place. And the way the internet's the internet's being affected by AI is like nothing I've ever seen. You know, you doom scroll now, and it's like you see something cool, and it's like, oh man, that's awesome. And then you go, hang on a sec, is that even real? And you go into the comments, and it's like people are like, is this AI? Is this AI? And it's like, it's increasingly difficult to tell what's even real these days. You know, I was scrolling the other day, and I saw like a clip of it was like supposedly a new jellyfish discovery or something. I get a lot of nature stuff in my feed because I like David Attenborough and shit like that, right? And I saw this jellyfish, and I was like, oh my god, that looks amazing. Like it had like, you know, bioluminescence popping off, looked like an alien, all this kind of shit. And it's like, oh, this new alien was discovered. This new jellyfish was discovered in the abyss in the Mariana Trench or something. And you scroll into the comments, and like people like AI, and I'm just there like, is there a source? You know, it's like, and it's only going to get worse. So I hate all this AI stuff, and notwithstanding the fact that AI, when the AI investment bubble pops, it's going to wipe out a third of the stock market and destroy the global economy. It's going to be like the credit crunch 2008 all over again, but maybe even worse. So that's going to be fun. We're going to got that to look forward to as well. So there's plenty of ethical issues that sort of revolve around gaming, but I think like when you weaponize a review score, especially when you're on Metacritic, which you know is a privileged position in of itself, or just reviewing games in general for a big outlet like Eurogamer, I think like you're kind of abusing your position to some degree, um, to sort of hate on something which is not really relevant that much to the game. I personally wouldn't have I wouldn't have marked down the game for having AI voices. I think the finals also has AI voices in it. And like I think there's ethical ways to do it. Like the voice actors opted into it, they were paid for it, you know, and at that point it's kind of like whatever, right? Um I think like there are certainly use cases where AI is gonna be sort of ethically beneficial. You know, things like auto super resolution, which is coming to Windows next year for PCs that have got an NPU in it. So like auto super resolution, that's obviously like an ethical way to use AI, right? And then there's the unethical way to use AI, which is gaming copilot, which basically steals the information that I write and repurposes it so Microsoft can have a new business without my permission. That's the unethical way of doing it. And then there's the kind of like the sort of questionable kind of area, isn't it? Where it's like, okay, well, this AI tool is helping me do something, but it was trained on stolen content and, you know, but it's not really hurting anyone kind of thing, you know. So I think this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where publishers are having to figure out ways to grow in a universe where they're not getting more users because of whatever reason, whether it's gaming is uncool now or because of TikTok or whatever. What am I talking about? Gaming was always uncool. Weren't we always the uncool kids? I don't know. But anyway, um, the the sort of one of the ways they can make more money is to reduce their expenses, and using things like AI is a way to reduce expenses potentially if it's used in ways like this, where it's like instead of paying 100 voice actors, maybe you pay 10 voice actors, license their voice algorithm, and then like use artificial intelligence to add more voice lines or whatever. You could argue that, yeah, it'll put some voice actors out of work, but at the same time, it's like, would would they have ever been able to afford those voice actors? Does that give an indie studio or a smaller studio, whatever studio it is, does that give them a chance to compete with a bigger publisher who can and should be able to afford the voice actors? But then it gets even murkier, where it's like this publisher, now they can afford the voice actors, but they're instead passing the savings on to shareholders instead, you know. So there's a lot of my point is there's a lot of definite ethical issues with the use of this technology that deserve to be discussed and highlighted, but I don't think it's fair to weaponize it and punish the entire game, the entire dev team, many of whom would have had no sort of they would have had no involvement in the kind of decisions that were being made here. I think what I would have done is I would have mentioned the fact that like there's an ethical issue potentially with regards to AI. Here's why, and here's my longer opinion article about this issue. And I would have judged the game on its merits as a video game overall, you know, or alternatively, not covered it at all. You know, there are like, for example, there are games I don't cover personally because they they're based in Russia, you know, and I don't want to cover a game or support a game that is paying direct taxes to Putin's war machine. That's a personal decision. You know, so but I wouldn't review the game and give a negative score because of that. You know, I wouldn't weaponize my privileged position of having a platform to do that personally. So, but you know, people can do what they want, but at the same time, you've got to deal with the consequences. And Eurogamer is getting cooked right now.
Yeah.
They're getting absolutely, you know, they're getting flamed left, right, and center. And I think it's tarnished. It's tarnished their image. You know, I think like people are gonna point to this as an example of, you know, editorial bias and a willingness to weaponize their review scores for potentially political reasons, you know, regardless of what side you fall on. I think a game review should really be generally about the merits the game's based on. And if you have an ethical issue with it, don't cover the game, you know. That's
I
how
agree.
I would do it. But I don't know how you guys feel about it. Well, I do, because you said earlier.
I agree.
Rand, I know you don't care about the AI voices, right? Sorry, Dirt. You go first.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I mean,
No, I was just about to say, you know, like I already said my piece, but I just want to say one more thing. I just I remember, was it earlier this year or maybe last year? It was an Xbox game that was being reviewed. I can't recall the name of the website, but they brought up the Xbox layoffs in the past. You know, earlier this year, maybe
oh,
last
I
year.
remember. I remember. Yeah,
Yeah, you remember that? And
they
to
docked
me,
the game for it, right?
yeah. And I said, listen, man, this isn't court. You know, where there's a guy that's in trouble and he has a past record. Yes, yes, that comes into play when you're in court, or your credit score. Yeah, man, you didn't pay your bills on time. You know, you're going to get penalized because you know. But we just want you to review a game about the game itself. I understand, you know, when Microsoft had layoffs, that was unfortunate. It pissed a lot of people off, and it was terrible. But I don't think that should make this your current review of this game. It shouldn't affect this game. What is your review of the game? That's what us as consumers, we want to know how you feel about this game. Like, people come to our YouTube channel sometimes to hear our opinion on certain things. And if you're basing something that Microsoft did earlier this year that was a negative on this game review, that's just unfortunate. And that's just not fair, in my opinion. With the AI voices, okay, I understand that you don't like AI, you don't like how it could potentially took jobs from some human voice actors. Yeah, that's terrible. You can note that in the review, but to dock it for that, I just think this is unfair.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's
Mhm.
that's what an opinion piece is for, you know. I've
Mhm.
written scathing opinions when I felt like angry about something, but like even like you've heard me slight Nintendo and stuff for their ethical issues, you know, and the shit they've done to Pal World and trying to patent game mechanics which they didn't even invent, you know, stuff like that pisses me off. But I wouldn't, if I was reviewing a Nintendo game, I wouldn't dock the review on that basis. It just feels weird to do, you know. And I guarantee you this: there are games that have launched that have used AI tools for certain things, like even stuff like generative fill or generative expand in Photoshop, like or you know, to expand a texture and stuff like that. I guarantee you tons of games using tools like that for years, guaranteed, you know, and you wouldn't even know about it. You wouldn't even know about it because it's like it's such a tiny thing. It's like why would I need to bother disclosing that shit? You know, I've expanded a texture, some pixels using AI. I used I don't know if you've seen this on you guys' end if you've got Adobe Premiere, but there's now in Adobe Premiere generative extend on clips. And in my Xbox Ally review, I needed an extra second of a clip for a good transition. And I used the generative extend tool to use AI to make the clip slightly longer. So I tried slowing it down instead, but then the frame rate looked a bit off because it was a different frame rate to the rest of the clips. So I used a generative extend just so like the camera just panned for an extra second just to finish off that clip. And it looked fine. You go and watch the video, you would never notice. All it does is add an extra magical camera pan second to the clip. That's all it does. And I guarantee you, shit like that's being used every day in all AAA games right now. So it's like, where do you draw the line, you know? But that's why these conversations are important. They just need to be in opinion pieces and not necessarily weaponized to attack a game's review score and attack an entire dev team. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I agree.
But, you know, on the topic of games we've been playing, because we're talking about Arc Raiders now, and Rand mentioned he's obsessed with it. What games have you been playing recently, though? What games make you tick? You haven't been playing Arc Raiders, but what have you been playing lately
No.
instead?
Well, you know, after I finished Silent Hill F, I kind of started playing Ninja Gaiden 4. I'm enjoying that, but I kind of stuck on a boss. I haven't been back on it for a minute. Been playing a little Outer Worlds 2. I've been kind of going through a few different games at the same time. Been playing the Mortal Kombat Collection, loving that, loving that. You know, as a guy who used to love Mortal Kombat back in the early '90s. Like during my high school days, I was a big Mortal Kombat guy.
Who's your main?
I like, you know, on part 1, I like Liu Kang. Part 2, I like Sub-Zero on part 2 and 3. Didn't really like 4 too much, but yeah, I'm a Sub-Zero guy.
Same.
So yeah, I've been kind of yeah, nice. So I've been kind of playing through those games, and I've been playing like a lot of different. Oh, I also almost forgot Ball Pit. My boy Sean 786 got me to try that game out, and it's pretty addictive. It's pretty addictive. Been playing that game. Yeah, I've been playing the hell out of that game. But that's about it. I really do want to play Arc Raiders, so I'll probably get that and play that for a while. But I'm definitely going to play a little COD when that comes out. Oh, also Battlefield 6. I've been playing a little bit of that.
Yeah, man.
What did you think of Silent Hill F?
It was okay. I didn't think it was okay. Yeah, I thought it was okay. You know,
Rand thinks it's the best game ever made.
Really? No, okay. Yeah, I thought it was okay.
No, I really liked it, but
yeah,
you know,
I thought it was okay. You know, the story. It took me a while to understand exactly what the hell was going on with the story. Kind of like the first time you see the Matrix. It took me a couple times to understand it. Well, that's just me. I don't know how you guys, but it took me a minute to understand the story. But now I got the story. But I mean, I liked it. It was okay. But I really love Chronos.
Yeah,
Chronos was good.
I thought that was phenomenal. I prefer Chronos over, you know, if we're talking about horror games, I prefer Chronos over Silent Hill F. But Silent Hill F was okay though.
See, me and you, Dirt, we're the
2.
same on that. We're the same on that because
Chronos was fire, man.
I also prefer Chronos, but I think Rand, you preferred Silent Hill, right?
Yes.
See, I like Silent Hill F, but like I hated the repetitive feeling of the other world, sort of, you know, the Japanese spiritual areas. I couldn't stand those segments. I thought they were so boring, and they were kind of like they really detracted from the town because the town is so detailed and realistic and lived in, and then you end up in these like repeating corridors, which is so lame with the enemies.
I like the town better.
Die.
I like the town portions better also.
Yeah, I like and even like sometimes the town portions would change, and the flowers and the hibiscus rot or whatever you want to call it, that would like changed the town too. So like the town had like an otherworld aspect to it as well. I wish they'd done more of it in there, but like I thought Kronos was cover to cover
I love
amazing. I love that game.
love
Man.
Chronos.
I love
Yeah,
that.
speaking of
Chronos.
Bloober, the supposedly Silent Hill 2 for Xbox is releasing shadow dropping 10 days from now.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
looking
so
forward to
salty
that.
about that. Sorry, go on. Do it.
No, I'm saying I'm looking forward to that because I can tell you guys right now, in my older age, I love horror games now, but in my early 20s, I couldn't play them. I'll never forget
Yeah.
playing Silent Hill 1 on the PS1. The game scared the hell out of me.
Oh god,
I
yeah, me
didn't
too.
even finish. I didn't play it. Then I played Silent Hill 2 and I said, what am I doing to myself? And I stopped playing it. And I didn't play. I like the next Silent Hill game I played was Silent Hill Homecoming, which was complete ass on the
Yeah, it was
360.
bad.
But I'm definitely looking forward to Silent Hill 2 remake. Didn't
Yeah,
you play
I
that Red on the
Yeah,
PS?
I played so I played those back in the day, Silent Hill 1 and Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite games ever. So I was one of those people that was worried when they tapped Bloober Team to make it, because I was not really a fan of Bloober Team, and I'm like, ooh. But man, they did it. They did it. And so I played Silent Hill 2 remake when it came out on PlayStation 5 last year.
Are you gonna double dip?
100%. I mean, I love Silent Hill 2. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Jez, how come, you should have been all up in this? How come you should have leaked it? What's going on? I mean, you
Yeah, I
said
was gonna
there's a
say,
partner previews coming out,
Yeah, I
this
was gonna
month.
say, like, I was salty because True Achievements, bless him. True Achievements is a great website, and the guy who runs it is a cool dude, Rich, his name is.
But they
But
found the store page, right?
yeah, I'm so salty because they have like special access to Xbox's backend, and this dates back to the 360 generation when Microsoft was like letting websites gain access to the achievements API and stuff like that. So like I think Microsoft doesn't really do that now, but True Achievements is like grandfathered in. They have like special access, and because they have special access, sometimes the Microsoft clicks the wrong button and they like the achievements will light up on their API. So it's like, oh shit, Microsoft's basically showed them that the game exists, and they showed the store page listing, which I think it turned on and then they turned it off, but it was too late. True Achievements system had pulled all the like achievements and the metadata, so they were able to find the store page and store listing. So they wrote that up. So I'm jealous about that, Scoop. But kudos to them. They did a really good job on it. And yeah, it does seem to be true. There's no reason to think this isn't true now. And considering that there's an Xbox partner preview event, which is, I think, the partner preview event was gonna go live this week, and we're recording this on the 11th of November. However, there's some pretty big news dropping this week, which I think has delayed. Which, when Microsoft found out about it, they decided to delay the partner preview event to later in the month. I think it's still going to be November, but I've got to, because I was like, there was like recently I was offered an embargo, and then they're like, oh, actually, we're not doing the embargo anymore. We'll do it later. And I was like, huh, that doesn't happen very often. And then I found out about this other thing which is happening this week, which by the time this show goes out live to the public, it will have happened, and you guys will all know what we're talking about, or what I'm talking about at least.
Yeah, but not the public that's listening to it right now.
Not the public that's listening to it right now. The public that's listening to it right now, you'll find out about it like tomorrow or the day after or something like that. But
because I did see you like tweeted something, Jazz. You said good week or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a big week for gaming industry. There's going to be
big
a lot
weeks,
of big week. There's going to be a lot of hot takes, a lot of
be interested, man.
Yeah, analyses and incorrect opinions, I think. But it's going to be a fun week. Alpha Lair says Half-Life 3. I don't think it's Half-Life 3. I don't think it's Half-Life 3, but it's something on that kind of level. But so there's sort of so I do think that's sort of affected how Microsoft was positioned in this partner showcase. But I do think that's where we're going to see Silent Hill 2. And, I'm like Brand. I played Silent Hill 2 back in the day. It's also one of my favorite games ever. I was also worried when Bloober Team was touching it. And by all accounts, they did a fantastic job. I played a bunch of it on my PC, but I was at the time, the PC I had previously wasn't good enough for it. It didn't run, because it's honestly, even now, it's not very well optimized. It requires like a higher end NVIDIA card to run well. And my laptop now that I do have runs it really well. But at this point, I'm kind of like, I'm just going to wait for the Xbox version because my Xbox will run it even better. But they did a fantastic job, and they're doing the remake of the original game, which I also played when I was far too young, and I was super, super scared. That I swear to God, like I've said to Rand before, I think Silent Hill and playing like those games as a young kid changed my brain chemistry. Like Silent Hill, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, because like to this day, some of my dreams are Silent Hill and Resident Evil themed, even if I ain't played them for years. It's so weird. I'll be in a save room or something, and there'll be like just the Resident Evil or Silent Hill setting, and all them merged together. It's crazy, bro. But I love those games, man. I think there's just a vibe in Silent Hill that's just irreplaceable. No other game is really. There's so many games that I've tried to emulate what Silent Hill did and does, and none of them have ever really come close to Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 in my mind. Those games are just immaculate, perfect works of art. So I'm super glad they're coming back. But I do wonder, like, what else could we potentially see at this show? Because it does seem to be like a third-party kind of showcase, partner preview.
Late in the year too. I mean, there's not many games.
Not
usually they have that stuff in October, so you'd have like the games kind of coming up, but most of the games would be out by then. So maybe it's stuff for early in the year. Maybe they're Xbox Play Anywhere. I don't know. Typically, though, like
when is remake Final Fantasy 7 remake? That's early next year, right?
January 22nd.
January, yep.
I imagine there might be. I imagine there might be a little reminder for some games that we know are coming, like Final Fantasy 7 remake, just to reiterate the fact they're coming. I've also heard that this partner preview is fully Xbox Play Anywhere or mostly Xbox Play Anywhere. So like, I think there's going to be like a big sort of like Xbox Play Anywhere news beat around this partner preview event.
Wouldn't that mean Silent Hill 2's Xbox Play Anywhere then?
Yeah, like Silent Hill F was as well. But this is the weird thing because because they're really pushing the Xbox Ally, but the Xbox Ally doesn't support NVIDIA Lumen, Unreal Engine Lumen. Sorry, not NVIDIA Lumen. It doesn't support Unreal. The Unreal Engine lighting stuff doesn't work very well on the Z2 processor. So Silent Hill F and Silent Hill 2 both run like crap on that device. So but yeah, it does look like all that stuff's going to be Play Anywhere, and it makes you wonder like what else could end up being Play Anywhere. Did you get an Xbox Ally there? Were you interested in that at all?
Well, let me tell you, it's a funny story. I was not going to get it because I'm not a handheld guy. I wasn't. Let me say that I wasn't a handheld guy. But my chat, they said, "Look, Dirt man, you got to get." I was like, "I'm not going to pay $1,000 for something I'm probably not going to play that much." And sure enough, one show they pretty much donated until I got around like $800 something, man. And
oh man, that's awesome.
I said, wow, man, them guys are so awesome. So I bought it. I bought it, and I was completely wrong. I love it, man. I love it. It's the first handheld I have ever owned in my life, and I'm loving it. I'm not a PC gamer, so I am getting to experience Xbox Play Anywhere with this handheld. From playing Ball Pit to Ninja Gaiden, just going back and forth, it's amazing, and I really understand why Xbox is pushing it because it's a great feature, man. Going from your console back to your handheld, and everything is there. It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible.
It really does look like Sony's going that way as well, because like Sony. It looks like someone data mined iconography, which suggests that Sony's going to do cross-buy PS5 PC purchasing and stuff like that, probably in their own storefront, I think. So it does feel like even though like someone in chat earlier said, I think it was Nerds and Other Legends maybe who said it, or
but console sales though, Jazz. But console sales, why would they do that?
Exactly. It's like console sales, but Sony's copying Xbox's strategy, like every step of the way. So clearly, Xbox is doing something right. Console sales, but Half-Life 2 is Helldivers 2 is Half-Life 2. No. Helldivers 2 is a roaring success.
Half-Life on the brain. I wonder why.
Not brand. But yeah, Helldivers 2, massive success on Xbox, but Xbox is dead, right? How can it be dead and
Yeah,
also be a massive success? And then also Xbox's strategy is terrible, but PlayStation's copying the strategy almost every step of the way, but maybe making a couple of tweaks
exactly,
here and there. So, um,
exactly.
so it's cool to hear you like the Ally. Like
Yeah,
I've had,
it's amazing.
yeah, I've had a lot of handhelds. I had the Legion Go, the ROG One, the Steam Deck, and obviously Nintendo Switch, and like even like older handhelds like the GPD Win One, which was terrible. Um, but I've seen the evolution of this category, and even though I had the ROG Ally and Legion Go, I didn't really use them that much, except like in a pinch where I like had to use them because I didn't have access to anything else. Because
Mm,
like dealing with Windows on those devices was a pain, and it felt like I'm having to exert effort here when all I want to do is turn it on and play. The
mhm.
Xbox Ally solves that because, like, on the
Yeah,
previous ROG Ally, you'd have to use the touchscreen, double tap on the game you wanted to play, and then like all these tiny little Windows icons. It was a terrible experience. But on this, it's literally turn it on, click
yeah,
play. It's it seems like such a dumb thing, but when you've got it in your hand and it works, it's like shit, man.
yeah.
This is
It's
it.
incredible.
This is yeah. So now I'm like you. It's changed how I play. Like I'm literally playing half of the time on the Ally now in bed. Um,
In bed, yeah.
yeah, in bed.
In
It's
bed eating nachos, Dirt. Would you eat
Got
nachos
nachos on your
with
chest.
yeah, nachos? Hey,
yeah,
when you
nachos.
hear someone say like, "Hey, I'm eating nachos," what is in your mind? What do you picture?
At a table usually.
No, I mean, but like if I
Ah,
say, "Hey,
come
I
on.
got some nachos right now," like what do you picture in your like? What does that look like? The nachos.
Oh, you have the chips, of course, probably some ground beef, cheese. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, sour cream
that's
maybe.
what I said. Jez is like, "Hey, I got nachos." I'm like, "Bro, is your ROG Ally covered in nacho cheese and sour cream and stuff?" He's like, "No, nachos. They're just the chips." I'm like, "Excuse me?"
Really?
Ah, man. Look, it says on the bag, nachos, co-op nachos. That's what it says on the bag.
So you
See,
mean like
that's
just some chips?
he's
That's
just
it?
eating some chips.
We don't call them chips, man. Chips are something else. Chips are what you call
Or
French
fries, right?
fries. Yeah.
Yeah, fries,
So they're just called nachos, like co-op nachos. Yeah, I
yeah.
just chill with the Xbox Ally, eat some nachos
Use
with
some
no
nachos.
sauce,
But
because gets in my mustache.
right,
Dirt,
So
what do
I'm
you
very Midwest. I'm sorry, what you say,
me
man?
me and you we're not PC guys, right?
Right. No, I'm not a PC.
How do you feel about the PCness of the ROG Ally for lack of a better term? Like the have you because I've seen people like post it and like, oh my god, I had to do all these things to get it working and all these updates and stuff. How you finding this device? Are you struggling with the PC side of it? Was it kind of like working right from the beginning? Like how's that aspect working for you?
Well, of course, there was a lot of updates when you first, unbox it. Just that update. Honestly, but my experience is kind of like what Jess said. When I cut it on, it goes straight to my Xbox dashboard or whatever you call it, and I go to a game I want to play and I play it. I haven't had many issues so far. Maybe sometimes I was like, where's the cursor? Right, it's not moving. Like I'm moving the controller, but it's not
yeah,
doing anything. I mean, that's about the only thing the issue I'm having.
right.
So I'm
I'll
loving
tell you
it.
how to fix that. You've just got to
Oh,
tap the
really?
screen.
Yeah,
Tap the
yeah. Oh,
screen
yeah. Oh,
once.
yeah. Yeah. I figured that out. Yeah, I did figure that out. So I'm
Do you,
enjoying it. I haven't had a big issue with it. Now, what Jez was saying about the previous handhelds that he had, that probably would have been a bigger issue. But for this one, it just goes straight to the Xbox dashboard or whatever you call it, and I just go to the game I want to play. And I will say this because I saw Jez post about Witcher 3 Cloud, and the Cloud has been running really, really good lately. I don't know if I had got the update. It's been running really, really good to the point where some of the games I played through Cloud. Because it really runs that well. I mean, I was playing NBA 2K. I play the sports games, and it was running pretty damn well. This morning, I just woke up and said, "Let me just play Sifu." Haven't played the game in a year. This morning, in my bed, before I got up to get ready to go to work, I played Sifu on Cloud, and it ran flawlessly. So I can see Cloud really being something that a lot of us will use in the future even more. but it's just a fantastic device, man. I got to give them credit. Shout out to my chat because I wasn't going to get one. I'm not about to pay $1,000 for something I'm not going to use that often, and I've been using it like crazy, man. I've been using it like crazy.
It's funny, isn't it? Because like I got one from Microsoft as a review unit, and you got one from your chat, and when you do see that $1,000, it's like sticker shock. It's like, Jesus,
Yeah,
that's a significant thing, you know. But now, like, I use it every single day, so I'm like, I would definitely buy this probably, because like I've bought things like I don't get my phones on contract. I tend to buy them outright so I can like eventually trade them in, because Samsung has a really good trading system, you know. So I usually just buy my phones outright with the Samsung trading deal. And you know, like when you buy a phone for like $1,000, it's like, yeah, but I'm going to use it every day, like for hours and hours and hours on end. So it's like it makes sense to buy something like that for $1,000, a high quality one that'll last you a long time. I travel a lot. I want a phone with a good battery life, a good camera. I use the camera for work. It's a really important life tool these days to have a phone. So like when I look at like a gaming device for $1,000, it'd be like, yeah, it's got to be one that I'm going to use all the time. So like maybe a console that was really powerful that I'm going to use a lot, I would pay $1,000 for. But then you think like, would I use a handheld that much, you know? And you start to think like, well, I didn't use the ROG Ally that much because I bought like the Legion Go, and because I got a ROG Ally review unit, and then I bought the Legion Go because it was like, I want to try this one with the kickstand and detachable sticks. Like it's more like a Switch, right? And it's got a bigger screen, so I want to take my ROG Ally experience to the next level. So I bought the Legion Go, but then I ended up not using it very much, and I just thought, it's because I'm not. I guess it's because I'm not that much of a handheld guy, I guess. But then, like, I got the Xbox Ally, and it's like, oh, the issue really was just not being able to get into a game very easily. It really was that simple. It wasn't enough of a console experience for me. And I think like that, just that little bit of extra usability has made that device worth $1,000 to me. You know, but even the cheaper version, like the Xbox Ally base model, that's really good as well. Like you can still play Ninja Gaiden on that thing, still play Gears of War Reloaded. You know, if the game's like well optimized, they'll run really fine. Like you can run them at 720p, 60 frames sometimes. You know, and yeah, 720p is a bit blurry in 2025, but it's like it's still a handheld. You know, at the end of the day, and then there's cloud gaming too factored on top. So, god damn, that's so annoying. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. My internet disconnected for a second, which broke the stream because YouTube won't let you reconnect to a stream that dies for some reason, which is really irritating, but we are back live again. Sorry about that. So, man, what we were talking about when I started roboting, do you remember?
Well, me and Dirt were talking about GTA 6.
All right, so how are we feeling about GTA 6 and the delay then? You big GTA guy, Dirt?
Like I said, there's no surprise, but November was the 19th. I think if any other publisher, if they're smart, they wouldn't have their game drop that month. I don't think a week or not, like maybe 2 weeks would be okay because your game, you get some traction in 2 weeks if you're a single player only game. But once GTA comes out, everybody's time is going to go to GTA 6. I think that game is going to be that popular, considering the last one came out in 2013 and it's still top MAUs every month. I believe that game is really is the most anticipated game of all time. I know not everybody loves GTA, but the majority of people do. So yeah, that game is going to be huge.
I think this will be the most anticipated game ever forever, because I can't even think of another game that would be more anticipated than this one. Even like
GTA 7. 20
well,
years.
I was gonna say GTA 7, but if GTA 7 comes out though, a lot of the people that are anticipating this one probably won't even be gaming anymore. I mean, if you still go off of a 13-year time frame, I mean, like let's say 13 years from next year, I'll be 58.
Wow.
You know, you'll be what, 63?
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy, bro.
there may not be the excitement for GTA, especially let's just knock on wood. What if GTA 6 is bad, right?
Oh,
You know,
come on, man. I don't know.
No. I'm saying in regards to like the next one being the most anticipated, like it would definitely dampen. Plus, like the Hauser brothers didn't work on this one. I don't think. I think they both
they
left.
didn't.
So
yes, the first one they didn't work on, right?
yeah, but we were talking, Jez, about like, hey, does Microsoft need to move if they had any games planned to launch around GTA 6? Like, hey, Halo anniversary, they probably can't launch on the anniversary anymore. And Dirt agreed that they basically like no game should launch within that time frame. Like everything should move. But
everything.
Nothing. Because like you could maybe counter program if you wanted to, but you're not going to get any.
You're forgetting here.
What are we forgetting?
GTA is not launching on PC. Halo is launching on PC. So
yeah, but I think a lot of people on PC are going to play the game on console.
I don't think a lot of PC gamers are going to buy a console just for GTA, bro. They'll wait.
Yeah.
They'll wait.
I mean, those guys are. Yeah, those guys. But GTA. Yeah. Let's see. But how long do you think the wait is going to be? Just a year?
How long was GTA 5? It was like 2 years, wasn't it?
You see, 2 years. I think some of those guys, because on any other game they'll wait, but I think GTA has a chance. Bro.
I'm going to say something controversial. I don't think GTA is going to be so good that people rush out and change their gaming habits and buy a console.
You
for one
don't
game.
think that all the streamers, all the big streamers in the world who are all on PC are not going to play GTA when it comes out?
Big streamers, they're not the whole industry.
I'm not saying they are, but you said people won't. I mean, like
normies,
people are
man.
going.
Normies are not going to rush out and change all their gaming habits just because of GTA. I don't think so.
If there's a 2-year wait, I think some of them will. I mean,
definitely some will, but I don't think it's going to be like such a huge event that Halo wouldn't sell on PC due to GTA. Personally, I think you can still launch. I think you can still launch Halo on top of GTA and still make a profit.
I think you're asking for a whole lot of trouble.
Well, I like trouble, baby. Bring the trouble.
Here's the thing.
I think
Halo already exists on PC.
I'm going to make you a bet, Rand. I think Microsoft will launch something in the launch window of GTA 5 next year.
What's the launch window?
Within the same month.
So, like, between October 19th and November 19th?
Yeah, between 2 weeks before, 2 weeks
after. I would agree with you because I think Call of Duty is going to come out at the end of October. So, yeah, why would I take that bet? Because I'm the one who said it.
It's a big Call of Duty next year.
Call of Duty is bigger than Halo.
I wasn't thinking Call of Duty. I was thinking one of the Four Horsemen. I think
Fable, within that time frame?
Gears. Yeah, I think Fable, Gears, or Halo could.
So give me the specified time frames of what you would consider the window, so we know here. Around
like the middle of October to the end.
Give me a date. I need a specific date.
I don't know numbers, man.
Well, I'm just saying, give me a specific date.
Nah, launch window. That's what you get.
Okay, but define the launch window, bro. We ain't just making stuff up.
Whatever the industry defines as launch window. Within a month of GTA, forwards or backwards?
Within a month, forwards or backwards?
Yeah.
One of the Four Horsemen?
Yeah, well, one of the Three Horsemen, because Forza's coming before them, we know.
Sure.
Because they were gonna release Forza on top of GTA. Bro.
Well, technically,
they don't give a fuck, bro. They do not give a fuck. They've got that Game Pass money. They got the Game Pass money, and they've also got PC gamers.
Yeah, but I also sort of feel they knew GTA wasn't coming in May, though.
Do you think so?
I mean, because Jason Schreier and Tom Henderson talked about how they've known for a while it wasn't releasing in May.
Yeah.
You don't think Xbox and PlayStation knew the game wasn't coming in May?
I don't know, man.
I'll take that bet. I don't think Xbox releases anything. One of the Four Horsemen within that time frame, within a month, either way.
Within a month.
Horsemen.
I think Call of Duty will launch there, but we're not referring to that. So yeah, they won't release
I
anything.
got a question, guys. Do you think one of the the Four Horsemen will be moved to 2027?
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. If I had to guess, if I had to pick one, it's Fable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Colt like did a video saying that the other day, right? About Fable being 2027.
Because I think Forza Horizon will be the first half of the year in May. Halo and Gears are definitely releasing this year for the 20th and 25th anniversary. You know, you could probably release one in September, one of October. And then, I mean, I don't know. I guess it all depends on when the projects are finished.
Right.
So, does GTA 6 even launch in the fall? What if it gets delayed again?
Yeah, that's a good question. Part of me thinks this is the final date right here, though. I don't know why.
Yeah,
November
I was thinking
19th.
that too. I mean,
Yeah.
Jason Schreier and Tom Henderson said the game's content complete, and it's all
it
just
is?
kind of like, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's all just, you know, doing, whatever, doing stuff to fix it up. But
All right.
yeah. What else we want to talk about, Jez? What was the other thing you wanted to mention? PlayStation and Bungie?
Yeah, like you into Destiny at all?
No, I'm not, unfortunately, no.
But it does seem like Destiny's become a bit of an issue for Sony. Like every quarter, they're kind of like writing down some of the money they spent on it. Like almost every quarter, it feels like Destiny and Bungie being blamed for hurting Sony's profitability. Their profitability fell this quarter slightly. And everyone's talking about like profit margins being a big deal. Like this is why Xbox supposedly is gunning for a 30% profit margin. I think Sony's profit margin fell to 13.4% off the top of my head. Their profit margin fell. And shortcomings of the Destiny acquisition have been blamed. So
Wow.
how important are live service games to Sony's future, do you guys think? Start with that.
I think it's very important because, I mean, I think they realized they had to do this because last generation they had a lot of great single player games, and those games were super successful last generation. But knowing that they changed their strategy to live service games on most of their first party games, of course they're still doing single player games also, but I think that's very telling that Sony needs single player, a live service game of their own. Hell, they're the biggest selling console. All of the biggest live service games are playing on their platform, so they know how much money these games make. And instead of making 30% off of them, they want 100. They want the whole shebang, which is understandable. So that's why they really want these live service games, even with the failures and the cancellations of their first party live service games. They're still going to continue to try to get a big hit. Isn't that why they bought Bungie in the first place, for their expertise?
Sure
of
did.
the lives?
Remember, that was the reason why Bungie's advice helped cancel Last of Us online.
Yeah.
But it's funny because playing Arc Raiders, part of me is like, you definitely could have made a Last of Us on like factions extraction shooter that would have worked in that setting. And who knows, it probably would have been pretty popular.
Right.
I mean, but they've already had a major success though, Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah. And
way bigger than anybody thought it would be.
Absolutely. And right, so they got a taste of it and they want more of that, man. Because I said, like, last generation, they conditioned their hardcore gamers, their fan base, to love single player games. But as we know, the single player games budgets, their games are quality games, so the budgets always, were pretty high. Now they're even higher, and they need more money coming in for their first party. Xbox, of course, with their acquisitions, they have both. They have the most successful live service games like Call of Duty, Minecraft, and they also have, their single player games. They have Gears coming, a new Halo coming. Hopefully Halo 7 drops in maybe 3 or 4 more years. But we'll see what happens with that. But they have successful live service games, and PlayStation want their own besides Helldivers 2. And they still don't even own that studio. So yeah, they definitely want their own.
I wonder though, as much as Helldivers 2 was a big success, which it was,
Mhm.
if it's not the type of success that Sony wanted, in
What
the
you mean?
manner of like the Fortnites or the Call of Duty, like something that's played at a high level with high microtransactions all the time,
Oh,
where like Helldivers was bought a lot and they made a lot of money off the all that stuff. But if you look outside of the jump of the Xbox version, the numbers don't obviously nowhere near approaching the big live service stuff. So I sort of wonder if Concord was expected to be more of the true live service approach, where like Helldivers is really just a co-op game. Really, it's like Left
really
4
it is,
Dead
yeah.
in a
Right.
way, right?
Mhm.
Where the true live service stuff that they wanted was Concord or something like Fair Games, where like, okay, this is or Marathon. That's like the
Mhm.
true goal. And Helldivers is a one-off that did extremely well. And then Concord was the biggest failure of all time. And
Yeah.
Sony basically is like, oh shit, maybe we're not really good at evaluating multiplayer games, because Herman Hulst was all over that game. Remember?
Yeah, that was his baby.
The next Star Wars, or
Yeah.
whatever they used to call it. I sort of wonder if like because apparently they're still making live service stuff. They're
Yeah.
not going to stop. And it's just like, okay, well, where are you going to get that from? I don't think Fair Games is going to be it. I don't
If
think
that doesn't
Marathon's
get
going to be
canceled,
it either.
definitely not it, yeah.
So I don't know. And it definitely seems like like the former Bungie people or Bungie itself isn't it either. Like Destiny 2 just seems to be like whoop, right?
Yeah.
Ending. I mean, I guess maybe you could do a Destiny 3, but
But
how
it's
long is that going to
Rambo,
take
like, what
going?
can
I
they
don't
do,
know.
Ran? What can they do? Because people won't get off of Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox,
Yeah.
Minecraft, even games like that had a temporary boost, like I don't know, the finals. That game had a little temporary like boost. It was doing well for like a week. Then eventually people got off of it and went back to the other games.
I feel like
There's some other games.
sorry, go on.
I'm sorry. Oh no, I was just about to say there's some other games that kind of had a nice boost for a week or two, and then eventually it faded, and people went back to their regular games.
Mm.
So like, what can they do? Those people won't get off of those games, man.
There was like Asmongold said something interesting, and I can't stand that guy. But
Oh
because
yeah,
because he's just he's just not real,
Mhm.
But he did say something that I thought was quite compelling because he was criticizing Shroud. Shroud recently said that Expedition 33 was overrated and that Arc Raiders should be in the Game of the Year conversation above Expedition 33, and that multiplayer
yeah,
games don't get enough love. Shroud basically said something to that effect. And then Asmongold was like, people will remember Expedition 33 in 20 years. Nobody will remember Arc Raiders in 20
Mhm.
years. And that did
Hmm.
remind me of the finals when you were mentioned in finals, how that
Right,
seemed to have hype for about 5 minutes and then
right,
disappeared.
yeah.
There's been quite a lot of games like that, like Pal World as well. Pal World
Our
broke
world, yeah,
Steam records when it launched. Pal World was record breaking, and the game. It's not like the game's dead or anything. It's still got like really healthy player numbers. But it's like it had its virality moment, and then found its core audience, and then it's just kind of trucking along. Whereas single player games, you complete them, you finish them, and then they kind of like they become almost like part of your identity in some ways. Like the way I was
Mhm.
talking about Silent Hill earlier. Like, I played
Right,
Silent Hill 2 as a kid, and to this day, I'm still talking about it. I mean, part of the reason we're talking about it is because they're remaking it, but I don't
right.
know. I mean, I talk. I genuinely don't feel that way about Unreal Tournament 99 or other multiplayer games I played when I was a kid. I don't know if you guys do. Do you? I suppose World of Warcraft kind of counts, but I'm still playing that. So does it count? I
Right.
don't know.
I would
Are there
say,
multiplayer games that you guys feel? Do you ever feel as attached to a single player game, a multiplayer game, as you have to a single player game? Is what I'd ask both of you. and the chat as well.
Real quick before, I'm sorry, Ren, you go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, Dirt.
There was a few multiplayer games. I think about Halo 2.
Yep.
Cause the fun I had with the friend, like with my friends playing it. And at that time it was still like the online thing was new. Xbox Live was around for a couple of years, but didn't play it as much until Halo 2 came out. And it was more about the memories playing with your friends as opposed to the game itself. But because of the game, we have those memories, or I will never forget playing with my friends or just having a ball. And them being in their house, me being in my house, and at the time it was just something like, wow, I can't believe the technology has come this far. And of course, that was 2004, right? But I do understand. I can think of more single player games that I've thought about over the years as opposed to multiplayer games. So yeah, you're right about that.
How are you, Rand?
I mean, like Dirt, Halo 2 always sticks out in my mind. One of my first multiplayer experiences in general, and I played it every day for a year. I was so addicted to it. I mean, PUBG still stands out. How much
Oh, yeah, definitely
played that
PUBG,
every day for like years, and how much fun it was, which is almost like Arc Raiders, where like people get on every night to play it almost in the same manner of like, I can't wait to play this game tonight, right? But where do they fall on your all-time list? I don't know. I mean, Halo 2 would be up there because Halo 2 also had single player and it was, part of the larger franchise, but multiplayer matters. I get sort of what Asmongold is saying in that sense. It's like, you won't remember Arc Raiders in 20 years, but people will still be talking about Expedition 33. Because I don't think Arc Raiders will have the lasting legacy 20 years from now, right? A lot of multiplayer games don't. They're few and far between. Could be wrong, because look at something like Minecraft. Minecraft is 15 years old. And it's still one of the biggest games ever. In fact, probably is the biggest game ever. So, if somebody would have said that back in like 2013, like, oh, well, you voting for Minecraft? Minecraft won't be remembered in 20 years. It's like, well, it's been 15 already. And it's, like you said, this year, along with the movie, is bigger than it's ever been. And I don't think it's going to disappear in 5 years. So, the thing, will Fortnite still be huge in like 2037 or whatever? 20 years would have been that, like 2037? Maybe. But I think that's the disconnect, because Shroud is a multiplayer guy. I think Asmongold is single player guy. So to Shroud, he feels that the multiplayer games don't get as much respect. And I think a lot of single player gamers do look down on multiplayer. Like, multiplayer is not worth it on the same level for whatever reason. But I know Shroud did say some stuff like, oh, like, well, we got to make sure it wins because, us multiplayer gamers are such a small minority. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? You're the majority. You look at the games people play, it's multiplayer games. Like, you are the majority. The whole industry revolves around the service games and the multiplayer stuff. The thing is, the people who vote on the awards aren't. That's the difference. The people who vote on the awards and who do the reviews for these websites aren't exactly the ones tied to a single service game, because they have to move from game to game to game to game to game all the time, right? Because you're constantly going to be covering stuff. That's what it is. It's not that multiplayer gaming there aren't that many multiplayer gamers out there. It's just because, like, it's voted on by the journalists. But then I'll say, oh, well, it was rigged. I don't know if you saw that, but then they started saying, like, oh, it's rigged anyways because Black Myth Wukong should have won last year. And, so it doesn't matter because everything's rigged. It's like, well, okay, so now it doesn't even matter what wins or what's nominated, so it's like, whatever. I don't know. As much as I'm having fun with Arc Raiders right now, it's not in my top. It's not my number one. Not even my number 2. And I'm not even sure it'd be my number 3. It's in my top 5. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not even sure if Arc Raiders gets a nomination for Game of the Year.
It's
There's
a
a lot
really
of
busy year as well.
there's a lot of compelling games all fighting for 6 spots.
Yeah.
Now, I do feel Arc Raiders has a very, very good shot of winning Best Multiplayer Game. But it's also going to be going up against Battlefield 6, which also was pretty well liked and sold, I think, more copies. I think what the rumor is now 10 million copies for Battlefield 6. Arc just announced they sold 4 million copies. So
Battlefield 6 sold 10 million. That's pretty good.
I mean, supposedly. I mean, I think they announced 5 pretty quickly, and I think I saw an Insider Gaming article that said like Battlefield 6 rumored to already sold 10 million copies or something. And I think I said to Jazz is like, oh, better watch out Call of Duty, and Jazz is like, nope, Call of Duty #1. You know?
Yeah, for Mouse.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I don't even like Call of Duty that much. It's unstoppable. It's unstoppable.
Dude,
it's a ritual.
Call of Duty comes out in 3 days, and I feel like I've seen nothing for that game this year.
It's a bubble, bro. You're in the bubble.
I mean, probably is.
I've been seeing a lot of advertisements, and after the advertisements I've been seeing, in with the Xbox logo. So
I hate that, man. Why don't they put the Xbox logo on it? Is it like they don't want to make people think it's not on PlayStation or something? Is that what they're worried about? I don't know. But
what? No. I actually saw an Xbox logo.
Oh, okay.
No. I said I did see an Xbox logo, which obviously we didn't see last year. It was the commercial with Peter. Was it Stormore? I forgot his name. What's the character the guy plays? He played in Fargo. I can't. What is the what's the character that he plays for Call of Duty, guys? Come on, help me out.
I don't know. That's Rand's department. I don't watch TV.
What?
His name is Peter Stormare.
Oh yeah.
Peter
He plays that character for Call of Duty games. I can't think of it. The commercial.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember.
Yeah, so the commercial was him and a woman dressed up like that character that he plays in the Call of Duty games. And it ends with an Xbox logo. I was okay. There you go, Xbox. I was watching sports, last night, and I said, "Oh, hey, Call of Duty! Wow, Xbox logo." Well,
I'll tell you this: some of the Warcraft ads from the summer for midnight had an Xbox logo on them as well.
Oh wow!
The comments were spicy.
Oh my god!
What
were they saying, Jazz? What were they saying?
Warcraft fans are like, "Get that Xbox logo out of here!" And all this kind of stuff,
Of course.
Man. I guess Microsoft's like experimenting a little bit with that kind of stuff, but I don't know. But you know what? We've had you long enough, and it's I've got to go and find some more painkillers, to be honest with you. But thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Dirt. Like, can you let the good people of the Xbox 2 universe know exactly where they can find you on the internet?
Absolutely, man. First off, thank you guys for having me on. This was a blast, man. I'm a big fan of you guys' show. I've been listening, you guys for years. So thank you very much for having me on. I truly appreciate it. Listen, check out my channel. My name is Dirt Griggity, DIRT GRIGGITY. On Twitter, it's the same thing at Griggity. I do console war banter, but it's all in fun. I don't get too serious about it. But I have a lot of fun with it. So if you're pro Xbox, come check me out. If you're anti Xbox, you might not like my channel. But it is what it is. But thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for being like. You say you're like a console war channel, but I've heard you criticize Xbox a plenty.
I criticize it, but I don't go crazy with it like some of my our former colleagues.
I genuinely think like Xbox content creators are generally a lot fairer when it comes to this stuff. Like even if they do fall on like the sort of pro side or whatever, I feel like even the most pro Xbox content creators have always been quite critical. Like Rand has been critical. Dealer was always critical back in the day. Colt can be critical. I can be critical. But like you get on the other side, it's very rare you see like some of these so-called PlayStation content creators. First of all, talk about PlayStation. It's usually they talk about Xbox. Second of all, it's just endless glazing of PlayStation. There's just there's never any criticism. There's never any like you know, there's never any sort of nuance about any of the stuff, and oftentimes I find the things they criticize Xbox for, things that PlayStation are doing as well. You know, like
Yeah.
multi-platform, cross-buy, like all that kind of stuff is like, you know, there's only so much spin you can do before you start to get dizzy. But anyways, yeah, definitely check out Dirt Grig on YouTube. I'm going to drop the link in the description as well, both here and on Spotify.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching this, and you know, if you're watching now or later publicly, we love you all. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks to all the Patreon MVPs who make these extra shows possible. We really appreciate you. And yeah, keep it gaming, as Rand says. You want to say bye, Rand?
Bye, Rand.
Bye.
I mean, you said say bye, Rand, so I did.
So funny, Rand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rock and roll, baby. See you guys later. Peace.